Hi there, Scott from Wessex. Welcome to anybody who's new to my channel. There's been about 15-20 subs in the last 2 days, so some little blip has happened, so welcome to all the new guys. The last, I imagine, 6 days I've been making small inroads into my next batch of blades that I'm making from this glorious mecca of knife making in Wessex. Of what I've also tried to, increase my skills with is something that I haven't really took much attention to because I'm been focused really on trying to make knives, and that is composition. Now, obviously, for all those who've been doing whatever it is, you'll see why I'm sat like this in the position I am with everything the way the layout is at the moment. It's another one of these black hole, black art things, and I'm literally just trying to get to grips with a completely new video editor. Quite how fast and progressed I'm going to get with as I'm trying to, spending more time learning that, whilst I can rattle it out quite quick in Movie Maker. I got this new one now, and it's going back to when I was in the band, and a sort of Pro Tools effect with multiple lines of video and audio as opposed to tracks of drum and bass and everything. So I have a vague idea of what I'm trying to achieve, but it's just learning the chops with everything written differently. It's like jumping on a Mac and then jumping on a PC. Everything's in different positions. So if you just bear with me over the next couple of weeks, you can understand the next batch is running, but I've got a lot going on in the background. Just trying to raise the game ever so slightly, incremental crank as it were, to try and improve the videography in a way, my presentation on camera in a way, in order to try and lift the channel just that little bit and give me a little bit more satisfaction with the way things are going at the moment. I imagine a lot of people, YouTube-wise, are pretty desolate at the moment with the way that the apocalypse has hit, and this new announcement about you got to have so many subs and so many. Well, we've all had restrictions in the years about when you could be eligible, and as industries get hit, they have to react. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people with new channels that are going to get unenabled, as it were. Unfortunately, don't worry guys, you'll get there in the end. YouTube is, it really is a bottomless pit of effort, time, and it's your outlet to show how determined you are to keep on going. That's the only way you can look at it in a positive light. My channel is here to show my journey, the skills that I'm picking up and sharing, generally speaking, for free. If I can get out and about and meet people at meets, whatever, all well and good. But people come along and they join my channel just to watch in the evenings or the days on a phone or on a laptop, just to see what that crazy dude is doing at Wessex again. Okay, that's all I can really take on in terms of content. I'm not buying a crazy motorbike and doing motor vlogs. I don't have a drone. I'm not. This is literally my main 90% of everything is the knife business, as it were. So if I can, spend not an inordinate amount of time also improving the way that the video comes forward, then so much the better, because I'm trying to make the channel move forward in many ways. One thing that at the moment is counting against me is my total number of videos. So in the logarithm, it's reach times and it's probably all over total videos. Well, I got 1,700 videos. So a word of encouragement for anybody who's out there and they've got 150 videos and they've got 550 subs or whatever. Your reach could well be further than mine, because you're not getting that final divided by 1,700. You're going to get divided by 150. So don't worry if you get knocked out. Don't worry, you will get there. And the gear like this is my old phone filming this. This is my old phone. This is the one that's it's finished with, 2 odd years old, and the audio's pretty good and the clarity. So don't worry, guys, you'll get there. So as I say, I'm trying to raise my game ever so slightly, little tweaks at a time, without spending too long just learning this massive great new video editor that I've got and everything. So that's the sort of the last 5 days. I've had a massive tidy up next door, and you know, people who join my channel just want to know how I'm progressing. I've just done a little adaptation on my extractor, because when you're working with gear like this, that's like saws, grinders and drills, you need to have extraction locally as well, which is basically the head of the grinder, sort of down here where bits are flying off mostly. You really want some snorkel effect. And I've used a weight training drink bottle, so I can actually adapt and screw that in, but this flange, which is the old lid, fits straight on my power planer. How about that? So if anybody's got the Screwfix planer thicknesser, I suppose that's a 2 kilo, is it? Where's the other offcut? It's here somewhere. The weight training tub thing is about that long. Okay, by the time you put the lid on, that pops on the exhaust port of the Titan Screwfix planer thicknesser. I went like that, and I supported it on my garage door with a couple of clamps, and now I've got LEV on my power planer. So that was a great bonus, because I've just been doing U, which is, yeah, you can't mess about with U. So pretty chuffed about that. That worked out really well for me. Glad I found that again, Sean. So that'll be making appearances, and I've just finished the stabilisation curing step of that, so just join with me a couple of minutes, and what I'll do is I'll unwrap it from the tin foil. When you get into knife making a little bit more serious, there's loads of ways where you can make the wood have some form of treatment to try and give the wood a long chance of staying on the blade without warping, cracking, splitting, expanding, contracting and all other things. You can use oil, you can use Danish oil, but when you get something that's like a Spalted, there's a lot of the substance of the wood has already been removed by the fungus that's gone in it. The lignin, I think it is, gets literally eaten away. So there's not so much resilience left in the wood. It's actually will crush in many ways. If you get your finger and squish it, you can actually damage it, which is not great for a knife handle if you can help it. What you want is resilient. So I've now put thermal curing resin in the wood under pressure, and then it's soaked overnight, and then I've cured it in an oven. So these pieces now, for my next batch, I've got some London plain, and you can see the excess, you know, the wood's full up with it, but every now and again you just get a little bleed of, when you've taken it out, you've still got a big surface amount on the piece of wood. So those are the little taily bits or whatever, but it's all down the xylem and phloem of the wood. So then to stop it pouring everywhere in the oven, you wrap like Cleopatra in her carpet, you know, and you wrap it up in tin foil just to contain the bleed. I've got some more London plain. See, it gathers up in corners, but the actual wood, I can feel that that's like a block of plastic now, like a lump. That's London plain, and I've sectioned that up on my table saw in a way that I tried to gain the best and most interesting character of the grain of the wood. So I'll saw it through that way, and I'll look at it, and if it's nicer on top, I'll turn the piece of wood over and saw it a different way. Tried to get the most distinctive. This is London plain, alright? Just look at that. Okay, and if I cut it the other way, I get that. Just flip it, and keep turning the wood, and keep adjusting the cuts so you get the best looking wood that you can. Now if you put all these together, like you bundled all these up wet and then wrapped it up, it'd be a solid lump of plastic. Okay, so you got to do one layer, one layer, one layer, like that, so that they don't sort of fuse together. Some phenomenal, beautiful, look at that. So that's the London plane. The wood I sourced from a local sort of timber merchant on the way to Wells. So I'm sort of in the Vale of Avalon in England, and there's a nice timber place, and when I walk in they know they've got some nice choice pieces for that crazy knife guy. Because there's other type of people that go there as well, as bowl turners or people making staircases, and the type of wood they want is different. Well, I want stuff that's going to machine down into uniform blocks. I don't necessarily want big finials at the bottom of a staircase. God, that's crazy, and that's English wood. You know, I know there's curly colour and all sorts of exotic stuff, but I'm getting as good a characteristic of the wood as I possibly can by machining it myself. It's one of those things that I like to do. There's other knife makers who like doing all the heat treat themselves. Absolutely, it's something. It gives them involvement in it. For me, I like the wood side of it. Here we go. You ready? Spalted beech, I think that is. I suppose when I took this piece of wood from the place, the guy who owns it would have known what tree it was. Look at that. So that's spalted, that's for me next batch. Quite a lot of bleed on the spalted. It's quite spongy before it gets treated. I dare say all the people looking at this now with their knives on order are getting quite excited. I say this here is before it's even finished and sanded down to a higher degree, because now it's plastic impregnated. It can be finished right up to micro mesh, so which is a series of abrasives that's beyond like 1500. You can go right up to like 12,000 with micro mesh. And you can be quite rough with it when you put it in, whereas if you had spalted wood unstabilised, I wouldn't be throwing it around because you could actually dent it. What I might have to do is sand that bit off because I've had a lot of bleed. I wonder. It's nice this, because you do get a clue as to just how good it's going to be when it's going to be on the knife. We've got some really dark pieces on this. A bit of tin foil there, but look how dark those lines are. So I'm going to give these a bit of a It's still pretty hot from the oven. Yeah. But maybe I think because I ran out of the baker foil, this is more like Tesco value baker foil rather than expensive stuff, so it doesn't really separate the things too well. Wood, yeah. You get a lot of character in the lighter woods. I want to belt sander that off. Yeah, here it comes. bloody... I'll say, for all those of the Devonian period, that looks a bit like a Dunkley Osteus. Moving on. Signs. Don't know if I'll be able to get to that one. Just the best till last. That's always... That's insane. Anyway, so that's all done like that, and what I've got to do next is the next batch of Weskeys. Because I've got them in a nice bottle here. So what these have been is cut out of ball bearing steel and heat treat, and then what I do is I tumble them in acid with stones to put the sort of acid stonewash finish, and then in a batch I'll put the chisel and can opener edge on. Along with this side gets put a very hard 90-degree edge on it for bark scraping and tinder making and ferro rod scraper, and then I Dremel out that in there with a Dremel, and that ends up with the ferro rod in that concavity sort of section there next to the 6mm hex bit driver. So that's my next little plot. I'm going to do 10 of those. So see you in a minute and I'll get the grinder set up. Okay, so that's this batch of 10 complete as far as the machining. A few will end up with lanyards. What I thought I'd do is on the next vid or so I'll do more of a show and tell on these things to showcase what they're all the uses of them. All I've really demonstrated so far is the flint on the rounded side, a bit of a scraper, and the ferro rod thing there. What obviously you want to show is more about the 1/4 inch stride, the 6-inch hex bit, and other uses that are in when I get this thing CAD cammed out. So that'll be hopefully popping up in the next couple of days. Let's say one of these was an order, so I had to get this batch out for that chap who's ordered it. Yeah, cool. So thanks for joining me again. Try and get this one edited up. I got the wood obviously for my next batch, and the next one will be surface grinding the blades for the next batch. I've got Danelaws, a Yeoman, a couple of Lecus, and a one-off hybrid Yeoman-y Danelaw. Could be quite interesting. Maybe 2 days for a little thing showing how these things are meant to be used. You know, basically as I move forward with the state of affairs that YouTube's in at the moment, you just got to look at it. You got to start from scratch. You just got to start again, and look to where we are in terms of the gear we got. It's a lot easier. The microphone is a lot better. I look back now and stuff that I did 4 years ago, and I had that bridge cam, and the hiss was horrendous on the thing, but that's all we had at the time. So, you know, my body of work's still there. Most of my videos are still vaguely monetized. I've got to go through every now and again and get pages and pages and pages of them have been knocked out. I just got to keep getting them done for, what do they call it? It's like a human check or something. It's like someone comes along and says, oh yeah, oh, you're doing press-ups for PTSD. Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. No, there isn't. Okay, it's a charity vid, you know, knocked it out, not monetized. It's all very, it's very random, but at least we can get a chance of maybe getting them remonetized again. But if not, the last thing I want is to get a strike on something just because I've showed a knife to camera. I'd rather it got demonetized and they gave me, you know, a fair warning that, you know, but we don't know yet because they're still working it out. Quite how we are able to prove that we're fine upstanding members of society. We just happen to make knives, we happen to enjoy using knives, you might collect knives. It's not an area of the public that really the police need to be worried about, or YouTube, or social media, or anything else. You know, it's just we got a different lifestyle, and hopefully people want to log into YouTube and join us for the ride. So let's see how it goes over the next 6 months and this thing all sort of settles down. So moving on, keeping moving, keeping positive, and start all over again really, I think. Thanks for joining me, Scott, for Weskeys, please.